I don't feel like this is the best angle, but I'm gonna try to make it work. I'm gonna try to make myself look as good as possible. Okay, I guess this works. We're good. So this is the thing. I feel like I need a plant or something. Yeah. Okay. Back to real life. So this is my thing. My thing is, I have been wanting to do a podcast for quite some time at this point. However, I never knew how to get started. I never knew how to go about it. I never knew if people would even want to hear what I have to say or whatever. But I've been called, I have felt called to do this for quite some time. I feel like there is something that I need to offer as far as advice, wisdom, whatever. So for those of you who don't know, I am a tarot reader. I am a Reiki healer. I do energy work. I do energy healing, and that has been a big part of my life now. And I have always felt that my calling was to help other people and to help them in a way where it's a back and forth, where it's a conversation. I've always felt that way. Even when I was younger, I was always that friend that people came to for advice. So when it came to me discovering my gifts, it was no surprise that I ended up reading tarot. And I have a BA in psychology. I always wanted to do psychology. I always wanted to be a psychologist or something along those lines, or a therapist. It never really worked out that way as far as like schooling went. But as far as my spiritual gifts go, it ends up that my readings do become a form of therapy. My Reiki sessions do end up becoming some kind of form of advice, therapy, etc. So for me, it's, it just played into the fact that I've always felt that I can help people through speaking to them. And I do feel like there's a lot of there is a whole generation of younger individuals that need to be guided. And being that it's 2020 and it is what it is, there's a lot going on as far as spirituality goes. I feel like a lot of people are now embracing spirituality, going through their own spiritual awakenings. I feel like people's lives are changing in a serious matter this year. My life has completely done a 180, Well, you don't know, but I will tell you. And I just, for some reason, feel called to start doing things differently on my channel in a more podcaster sort of vibe, where I just want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about real shit. I want to talk to you about real life. I want to talk to you about real problems, real issues. I want to eventually have other people on my podcast where we can have that kind of exchange back and forth. But as far as right now goes, I don't even know what this video is going to be called, but I do know that I need to start somewhere. And here I am. So My name is Marcella. For those who don't know me, I'm from New York. I read tarot. I practice Reiki, which I like to put more I like to call it energy healing rather than Reiki, because there's just a lot more that goes into it. There's Reiki, and then there's a lot of other things that I put into my energy healing, because when I'm healing people, I also receive messages from their body that I can, I deliver these messages to them, and it almost becomes like a spiritual reading. So I don't know if that is specifically Reiki, but as far as energy healing goes, I do use the Reiki symbols and all of that. However, this podcast, or I don't know if it's a podcast, but I guess that's what it is, since I just called it that. And that's what I really want to do. I've always felt like I could be on the radio, or I could have a podcast or whatever. I always felt like talking to people is one of my strong suits. I love giving advice. I love hearing people's stories. I love being non-judgmental and just hearing where people are at and what they do and their vices and what they like, what they don't like, and what grinds their gears, what makes them happy. So I want a lot of that here. I want a lot of realness here, whereas even me as a spiritual worker, a spiritual person, energy healer, blah blah blah, I get a lot of people who kind of put us in a bubble, and people who feel like, oh, you're an energy worker, you should be, you should be this, you should be that, you should be super happy or positive, or like this walking ball of white light and happiness and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, we're human. And yes, I make certain choices in life that I make sure that, meditation and positivity and movement and just being very present, all of those things are very important to me. But I'm also from New York. I grew up with a certain mentality. I grew up in a very tough household. I have a very strong personality. But there are many different sides to my coin, which happens with many of us. However, I have a wide range of shit that I've dealt with throughout my life. So when it comes to other people's experiences, like, it takes a lot to, not to surprise me, but it takes a lot to scare me or get me out of my comfort zone. I'm a very welcoming person. I'm a very open person, and I chose this lifestyle of spirituality, and I chose this, well, I guess we don't really choose these things. It's our purpose. It's our soul's purpose. And when I started doing the healing, I became much more aware of the fact that this is more than just something that I do. This is something that I have to do, because people need to be heard, people need to be seen, people need to be healed, people need more people like me and what I'm doing. And I feel like, especially in New York and in the environment we grew up in, where we have to be strong, there's this sense of like putting up this wall, being tough, that's a thing, like a tough New Yorker, meant to have that very fast-paced aspect about them. Personalities are very like, don't talk to me, very cold, I feel. And it takes a lot for someone like that, someone like me, someone like a lot of people in New York, or a lot of people in I feel like there's nothing like New York. There's nowhere like New York. So for us, growing up in this hustle and bustle, growing up in my family in particular, you know, they're very rough around the edges because of how they grew up. And that goes for a lot of us. But we're at the point now, and I even think, especially in 2020, where like we can make big changes to who we are and what we've become, and the stigmas that have been dug into us. And there are certain, you know, I grew up with the mentality of you get a city job, you get the benefits, you get the pension, all that, and boom, life is good. Well, let me tell you, I got all of that and life was not good. I felt when I finally got my city job and I got the pension and I got the benefits and all that, it was not enough. It was not my goal. It was somebody else's goal for me. And I stuck with that and then realized like that's not enough. It's not enough to make me happy. It's not enough to fulfill forever for me. And I had no other choice but to go towards my calling, my gifts, my happiness. And it wasn't until I did that things started really changing for me. And you know, your happiness doesn't seem like, well, at least growing up the way I did, happiness was never in the conversation. It was always money, money, money. You go to school, you finish college, you get married, you buy a house, you have the kids. Nothing in between, nothing. Which is funny because nobody in my family did it like that. So, but that's what was expected of us. And I felt that way for a very long time. And it took a lot for me to quit my job, my cozy city job that had all the benefits and the pension, all the money that I was looking for. It wasn't fulfilling me. And it took a lot for me to finally be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I want to go towards what I'm passionate about, X, Y, and Z. It took a lot. And it took a lot of support from my ex-boyfriend, and it took a lot of balls, honestly. But then I did it. And I went towards my happiness, and I just did it. And I have to pee, so hold on. And I'm back. Okay. But no, so yes, I quit my job. And at that point, I was only doing tarot readings. So honestly, I had some fucking balls quitting my job when I was only doing tarot readings. And I was like, you know what? I know that I'm being called to quit my job. I know that I'm being called to do something else, something more. And that's exactly what happened. I quit my job. And you know, when you do that, when you have that faith, when you have that kind of conviction that like, I know the universe got my back, I know my spirit guides have my back, I know that when you do that, you let go of control and you leave it up to the universe. And somehow it worked out. Somehow every month I made the rent. Somehow I never had to ask for any financial help. Somehow it just fucking worked out. So that was even more of a, that was even more of a validation for me to just keep having faith in what it is that I was intuitively feeling. So then I went on to my Reiki, and I started, I got my certifications in 1 and 2, and then Reiki 1, Reiki 2. Because Reiki 1, it's for self-healing. Reiki 2, you can start to heal others. You can start to heal on Reiki 1, but whatever. That's like the thing. So that's what I was trying to follow. And once I got my Reiki... Sorry. So I was at my studio, but I had a phone call, so I'm home now. So I really wasn't sure where this message was gonna go as far as my first video. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know what to talk about. So I'm just taking this as it comes and going wherever it goes, but I feel like right now, with me telling you my history, I feel called to just tell people that I know it's scary to take the leap into the unknown. I know it's scary to put your happiness first and really just go for it and not worry about other people. I know it's hard to not conform to what you think is right or wrong, but at the end of the day, it's about being happy, doing what you love. And like I said, I took that jump. I quit my job, a very secure job, in order to pursue what I knew deep down in my soul I was meant to do. Even though I didn't know exactly what it would look like, I knew, I didn't know if I would be reading, I knew I wouldn't be reading tarot forever. I knew, at that point, I didn't know about me getting into the healings or anything like that. But I knew that I was just meant for more. I knew I was meant to do more. I knew I was meant to help people. I knew I was meant to help others heal. I knew I was meant to do something in service to others, for others. And I feel like with my healing and with all of that, I also eventually want to write a book. But I feel like this video, whatever this turns into, whether it's a podcast or just videos of random conversations between me and you, the collective, I want to reach people in a way that's different. I want to help people in a different way. I want to, or maybe not even different, but in my own way, because there are a million people out on YouTube giving you advice and telling their story, and I think that's great. And I heard something on Instagram, I heard one of my friends that's also within, on her spiritual journey, asking us to please share your gifts. Please share what it is that you're meant to put out into the world. And I felt like the same way I trusted the universe and I just jumped into quitting my job and pursuing my goals and my ambitions and my gifts, I feel like this is another opportunity to do that. I'm not really sure where this YouTube is going to go, this YouTube channel is going to go. I was doing monthly tarot readings, but I've always wanted to do a podcast or be on the radio or whatever. But there's something about you guys seeing me that makes me feel like it's more than just listening to someone talking. It's more than just, it's you getting to know me on a different level, on a personal level, and understanding that what I'm telling you comes from my own life experience. And I do want to genuinely help. And I feel like you definitely can feel certain, like when I listen to podcasts that aren't visual, I can feel, you know, the amount of passion and the love that they're putting into it. Yes, I absolutely feel that, but I feel like it's different when you can see the person and you can see how they're talking to you, or how you can relate to them, how I speak, and how whatever my hand movements and all of that. I feel there's a lot of energy that's exchanged. You know, photographs have an energy, videos have an energy, and I want you to feel my energy, because that's what I'm about. That's my vibe. And I plan on using this channel as a way of talking about things that some people don't feel comfortable talking about, and so many other things. I just want to, I'm a very open-minded person. I'm a very non-judgmental person, and I've always been that person that you can have a conversation about anything with. And I've realized throughout time that there are not a lot of people like that out there, as many as there could be. So it's important for people around the world to know that there are people like me that will listen to every crazy story, every crazy thought, everything that pops into your mind, and I will not judge you. And you're not wrong for feeling how you feel, or right for feeling how you... There's no right or wrong when it comes to any of this. It just is. And I hope that I can instill some wisdom. I hope that I can provide some help. Even if it's just me talking for your amusement or for your background noise, whatever the case may be, I want to give. I want to give back, and I hope I don't even know. I just hope it goes somewhere. I hope somebody is listening. I hope you guys can appreciate it. And I don't know what's gonna happen with this channel. Right now it's called Readings with Marcella, or Marcella's Readings. I don't feel like I should just keep it in a box of this is healing or reading or whatever. This is real life. This is my life. This is your life. And I'm just trying to keep it as real, open, and honest on this channel. I want there to be an exchange. I want to be able to talk about the things that other people try to tiptoe around and avoid, or whatever. Uncomfortable conversations, any kind of conversation. That's what I'm trying to do here, and we'll see where it goes. So thank you for listening, and I hope you got to know me a little bit better, and you will definitely find out much more about me in the coming videos. So I hope you have a great night. Right now is September 27th. I don't know when I will be editing and releasing this, but I hope that I will be able to gain some kind of consistency and momentum in order to really have an impact on you guys. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching me, and I hope you have a great night. Bye.